Alright, today I want to talk with you about Gyroflow and the new workflow that I discovered which completely changed the game for me. You see, as an FPV pilot, I use Gyroflow pretty much every day to get my shots buttery smooth. Although Gyroflow is an amazing software, over the years I had quite some struggles finding a workflow that I'm truly happy with. Honestly, it was not until one of you guys commented on a previous video of mine about Gyroflow, his own workflow. Big thanks to Sean for this one, and it was heaps better than anything that I was using until this point. So the problem with my previous workflow using the Gyroflow plugin in DaVinci Resolve was I threw my clip into DaVinci Resolve, dragged it onto the timeline and applied the effect directly in the timeline section. I just dragged it from the effects bar into the clip. And then you stabilize it and it works, all good. But it only works because this timeline is the same aspect ratio and the same frame rates per second as the clip. If those two things don't match up, your timeline and your clip, it will not work. Let's say you have a 16:9 clip and you throw it into a 9:16 timeline, let's say for Instagram or something, and as soon as you apply the Gyroflow effect, it will create weird artifacts and wobbling, and it just doesn't work at all. So what I did instead was I went with the timeline that matches with the clip, did the whole stabilization, did the color grading, anything that I want to do with this clip, and when I'm done with that, I exported it and re-imported it into DaVinci Resolve to use it in different formats and different edits. And you can imagine this is not far from perfect. Like, I wasted so much time with exporting and also structuring my files and organizing everything. With the new workflow, you change only one single thing, but it completely changed the whole game. Instead of going into the timeline page, you will go into the Fusion page and apply the Gyroflow effect in there. It's such a small change, but it makes a world of a difference and gives you so many benefits. So first of all, by applying the effect in the Fusion tab, DaVinci Resolve will automatically start to render it in the background, so you don't have to go and do it manually. And that's already a huge benefit and convenience. But the second benefit, and that's the one I'm most excited about, is this technique gives you so much freedom. You can just go ahead and copy your clip from one timeline to any other timeline that you want with any aspect ratio or frame rate, and it will just perfectly work. Gyroflow is already stabilized in there, and you can go ahead and do your editing. You can change your color grading or whatever you want. And that's just something I couldn't do with my previous workflow, and I'm so excited about this. Alright, I'm just gonna quickly show you how this looks in DaVinci Resolve, and we go through it step by step. So we start with going to the media pool and selecting our footage. I'm gonna take this FPV shot, GoPro 11 from Iceland. I already did a selection in here, and we're just gonna drag it onto your timeline, just like that. And as you can see, this shot is 8:7, the ratio, and 50 frames per second. So same with our timeline here, it's 8:7, 50 frames per second. So you can see it's a square footage, right? And now my old workflow, the wrong one, what I did, I was just going to the effects tab and drag the Gyroflow effect from there and drop it onto the footage. And now, as mentioned, because the timeline and the footage matches up, it just works and it's nice. But the problem is now you go and copy paste that and you go into a different timeline, let's say this 9:16, go in there and you just want to throw it on there, just like that. And you can see it's all weird and warped and not at all what you want. It gets really clear when you turn the Gyroflow plugin off again. That's how it looks raw from camera, right? And you turn it off, it punches in like 200% or more, and yeah, it's just completely weird and doesn't work. So we delete this, we go back to our master timeline like this, and here I'm also going to delete the Gyroflow plugin, and now we're going to do the right workflow. So for the right workflow, instead you just go to the Fusion tab down here, open that one, and then you make sure that this is red, your in footage, and then you just hit shift and spacebar. That pulls up your menu, and you can just type in Gyroflow and just hit enter, and it will add the gyro effect directly into your stream in your node tree. And now what you have to do, you see it's flickering red weirdly like that. You just go to the top right and hit load for current file. And now the status says okay, and that's okay. So now it's stabilized and it works. Here you also have all your other parameters that you can adjust, like smoothness and everything. But honestly, for my FPV stuff, 99% of the time, I just leave it on stock and it works really nice. And you could already play it back here. but I prefer to just go back to the timeline. And now you see the bar is still red, so it's still caching and rendering. We can try to play it back already. Okay, the playback is super slow, but it works. We see it's stabilized and it works. I just know it from experience. And yeah, now the beautiful thing, let's say you go to the color correction tab. Let's go in here. Let's throw something on there, just like a correction lot. Where's the GoPro? Yeah, let's say this one. Zack. So that we just have a better example of how it could look like. Let's say I pull down here the exposure a little bit like that. And then we're like, okay, that's cool. We go back into your timeline. And now we want to use this clip. So we go and copy paste it, and we go back to the 9x16 that didn't work previously. And we just copy paste it in here. And voila. Again, it's slow. Should give it some time to render. But I can assure you, it's stabilized, it works. Yeah. Okay, the playback is still slow. But so yeah, the beauty with this is now I can go and be like, okay, let's start some keyframing. I want at this point of the clip, I want it to be on the left side, and then up until here, it should travel more to the center back again, right? And this is just so amazing. You have your stabilized clip, you can do keyframing, you can go back into your color section, and just for this edit in 9x16, I could go and say, I want this completely, I don't know, like let's say tinted. Just like that, because it matches this edit, let's say. And you can just do that. Your master file, your source file, which I by now created like a master timeline for all of my FPV shots, because they're all the same ratio and everything. I just dump them in here and do the stabilization, and then from there I go and copy paste them in different formats and different edits that I want them into. And yeah, that's it. That's the new workflow. Once again, big thanks to Sean for pointing this out to me, and I hope this video helped you out. If it did, make sure to leave a like and a follow. It helps a small channel like mine out massively, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!